Hey folks, welcome back to Life Walk Wellness, and it is Wellness Wednesday once again. We are starting this series on home cooking for the non-cook. So if you don't know how to cook, you were never taught how to cook, you're not really sure what to cook, maybe you can make toast. That's awesome, that's a good start. So the first question we're going to answer is, what does home cooking have to do with wellness? And we're going to answer that coming up next. So what does home cooking have to do with wellness? Well, one of the main things is that when you're cooking things at home, you know what's going into it. You know what the ingredients are. There aren't going to be any crazy chemicals and all that kind of stuff. So that's where we're going to start. But anyways, even just the process of cooking, taking that time to slow down, to cook your own meal, not throw it in the microwave, not order in from a restaurant, but just to take that time to slow down, cook it yourself, sit down and enjoy the meal, whether by yourself or with your family. All of that is bringing in wellness into your life. So one of the first things we're going to talk about in this series, especially for those of you folks who just don't know how to cook and you don't know where to start, how do you do that? Very often you probably find yourself walking through the grocery store and you're grabbing this, that looks good, and you're grabbing that, and you're filling up your cart with all these things, and then you get home and you're like, oh, what do I do with all this? None of this stuff goes together. And so that's what we're going to learn how to do in the first part of this series. We'll get to some basic recipes a little bit later on, but today we're going to talk about building your pantry and what all that means. So the basis for most of your recipes, especially the real simple recipes that I'm going to be talking about here, are going to be things in your pantry. And what that means are things like canned goods, sauces in jars, things like that. Things that you can keep in your pantry that aren't going to go bad, and all you have to do is add one or two things to them and you've got a meal. So here are some of the things we're going to start with. Things like sauces. So spaghetti sauce, whatever spaghetti sauce is your favorite, it doesn't really matter. There's spicy ones, there's tomatoey ones, there's herbed ones, there's some with meat in them. Keep some sauces handy, because all you have to do is add a protein to this or add a starch to it like pasta, and you've got a whole meal. Some other things that are also considered sauces are like salsas. And I've got some really great things that you can do with salsas. Super quick and easy. We'll talk about that. And then finally, gravy. Any kind of gravy. Whatever your favorite kind is, brown gravy, light gravy, turkey gravy, they're all going to be great. Again, add a protein to that and you've got almost a whole meal right there. The next thing we're going to talk about, some other canned goods. Things like canned tomatoes, diced tomatoes. Again, add that to something and you've got an instant meal. Beans, black beans, kidney beans. There's all sorts of different beans out there. And again, you can do a million different things with just a can of beans. We'll talk about that as well. Now, beans are also a protein as well as a starch. So you kind of get double duty there out of that. So for you folks who are vegetarians, your beans can take you a long way. Okay, just remember that. Other canned goods, canned chicken. This is going to be a great poultry. Yes, it's great to get fresh chicken. If you can get fresh chicken, that's awesome. Sometimes you might just be in a pinch. If you got some canned chicken or canned tuna or something like that in your pantry, you're saved. You've got your protein right there and you can keep going with your recipe. Some other things that you'll want to look for your pantry as well are things like chicken broth. Chicken broth, vegetable broth, beef broth, any type of soup base. You can do a bunch of different things with. Again, that's going to be just a start for you to build a recipe off of that. And that's what we're going to talk about. So these pantry items are things that you're just going to keep around all the time. You might keep a couple of cans of beans, a couple of cans of chicken or tuna, some jars of tomato sauce or spaghetti sauce, things like that. Those are your basics. You can keep on hand all the time. So then when you go to build a recipe or you want to go out and you want to make something for dinner, you're just looking for maybe a fresh protein or some fresh vegetables or things like that. Now, fresh items are kind of tricky because they're perishable. They're going to go bad eventually. You don't want to stock your refrigerator with a bunch of different vegetables, fresh vegetables, if you're a single person or 2 people in your household and they're not going to get eaten fast enough. They're going to end up going bad and then you just throw them out. And we don't want any of that waste. So perishable items like that, you're going to shop for as you need them, basically. Whereas these pantry items, things in jars and boxes and cans, those are things that you can stock up on and you can keep handy for whenever you need them. So let's say, here's an example. We're not going to do a lot of recipes today. Today we're just talking about building your pantry and how to shop. But let's say, for example, you've got your favorite salsa sitting in the cupboard. All you need to do is go out and get some fresh chicken. You can get chicken breasts, chicken thighs, chicken wings, whatever you like. Throw those into a pan, throw some salsa over the top, put a lid on it, and just simmer that until the chicken is cooked. Boom, you've got an instant meal. 2 ingredients. How simple is that? If you want to add rice or a salad or something to the side, perfect, even better. You can take that chicken that you've just simmered in all the salsa, you could take 2 forks and shred it apart, throw it into a tortilla, and you've got tacos. So again, these are the kind of real simple, easy things that we are going to look at and teach you how to start making some real basic recipes. But again, for today, we're building your pantry, we're learning how to shop. So you've got your dry goods, you've got your spaghetti sauces, you've got some broths. For emergency, maybe you've got some canned chicken or canned tuna. Build those things up. Keep those things handy in your pantry. Then, when you decide, oh, I'm in a mood for chicken tonight, you go out, you buy your fresh chicken, and you decide, I want to pair that with some black beans in salsa, and you've got a quick and easy meal. Or you can actually go out and get some fried chicken, and maybe you take that fried chicken, throw some gravy over the top of it, and then put that over rice. Again, boom, instant meal. You can even, instead of thinking of spaghetti sauce as just for pasta, you can take that same chicken, those chicken thighs or chicken breasts, throw those in a pan, simmer them in the spaghetti sauce, and again, you've got a whole different kind of meal. Again, 2 or 3 ingredients, that's all you need. So you're going to buy those fresh things as you need them. Keep these pantry items on hand all the time. So then all you have to do is just mix and match things. Vegetables, we're going to talk about those next. So, fresh vegetables. One of the easiest things to do is to make a salad. And there are so many pre-made salad mixes out there. You get the bag, you dump it in a bowl, you get your favorite dressing, and you have a salad. Honestly, for those of you who are just starting out, that's a great way to go. But again, you don't want to go out and buy 5 different bags of different salads if you're the only one in the house, or if there's only 2 of you in the house. That salad is going to go bad really fast. So that's going to be one of those things, like the chicken or beef or fish or whatever other protein you're going to buy fresh. You want to get those salads or those other vegetables fresh as well, just as you need them. The longer they sit in the fridge, the more they're going to go bad. And you don't want to be wasting a lot of money on food that's just going to go bad. This is just a first step and get you thinking about how you want to start cooking at home. Like I said, we're going to get into some real recipes a little later on, quick and simple things like I talked about earlier, but build your pantry. Get your sauces, get your canned proteins, again, chicken, fish, salmon, there's all sorts of different canned proteins out there. Beans, another great protein and a fiber, so it's kind of got your starch and your protein together. Chicken broth, beef broth, vegetable broth, they can be made into soups, they can be used to simmer your proteins, they can do all sorts of things. So just your basic, your soup basis. Keep those in your pantry all the time, and you're going to be ready to cook whatever you want at a moment's notice. So that wraps up this week's Wellness Wednesday. I hope you got a little bit of great information from this. Stay tuned, comment, like, subscribe, share this with your friends. If you want to get some more recipes moving forward and some more tips and hints on how to shop and how to start learning how to cook, especially for you non-cooks out there, you're going to want to subscribe to this series. So go ahead and subscribe out there. Hit that little bell button so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. But keep in mind, Wellness Wednesday, that says something. Every Wednesday you're going to get a video. And then periodically I'll have some longer ones with more in-depth content. So until then, you guys have a great life.